What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here. So here is a solo clear of the Battleground Behemoth, and I just want to go over the modifiers. So we have Famine. All ammo drops are significantly reduced. This one isn't very bad because there's ammo crates. They don't give full heavy ammo, but they do give full special. So yeah, the ammo drop thing, not a big deal. And I honestly didn't even notice it. I was still getting lots of ammo, but I'll talk about that later. And then we have Stasis and Arc Surge. So I'm not sure. I'm recording this right when the GM node dropped, but I'm not releasing it until the Behemoth is in rotation for that week. So this probably won't come out till January. But this was right after the roaming super changes. So if it's not Stasis Surge, this build won't be as good, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But next we have Shot Caller. So Shot Caller, how that works is landing multiple precision hits with a primary ammo weapon empowers special and heavy ammo weapons, reduces incoming damage while active. So I'm not sure how much it empowers them, but just a nice easy damage bonus. And yeah, so I'm using Ballidorse Wrathweavers, and this was right after the super changes that reduced the super cooldown significantly by about 3 times for roaming supers. So I wanted to test out Ballidorse Wrathweavers, and I figured this would be a good GM to do it in. So it's a pretty basic build. You can see I've got Stasis and Kinetic Siphon on, a Kinetic Loader for Revision 0, and then just some basic stuff. Arc Scavenger for my heavy. I'm using Indebted Kindness, which is really good for the Thresher. But say, I don't know what the surge will be when this comes out. If it's not Stasis Surge, you probably won't want to run this because Revision 0 won't receive that 25% damage increase from matching your super to the surge. And then if it's not Arc Surge, then Indebted Kindness won't be hitting as hard as well. But the big thing is losing some damage to Revision 0 because you'll see how hard this build goes. But regardless, I can still talk about the GM and how to beat it easily. But yeah, the build may not be applicable when this comes out, depending on the surges. But hopefully it's Stasis Surge, because Ballidorse actually goes really hard here. So we're, of course, on Prismatic, because that's going to give us Devour for staying alive, but also to give us plenty of Bleak Watchers. And we need lots of Bleak Watchers. So here's my GL. We had Bait and Switch. We have Concussive Reload so that I can weaken things as well. So we're just trying to put in as much damage on all these guys. This GM has a shit ton of yellow bars. It's crazy. And this is kind of what Bungie has to do now to nerf us. They also have enemies spawn in at very weird locations, which is annoying. And I get lots of teleporting enemies. So yeah, just very annoying. I took a few tries to beat this, mostly because I kept dying. I'll tell you exactly where I died when we get to that part. But yeah, so I throw out a Bleak Watcher, and that's so I can freeze everything. And then I pop my super, and you can see we demolish both champions really, really easily. So yeah, that's extremely strong. I have always shat on this super, but the meta has changed now, because if you can get a fast cooldown on supers like we can now on roaming supers, then something like Ballidorse does have a play, because they buffed Winter's Wrath to deal more damage to champions, and then Ballidorse also does more damage to champions, plus it's Stasis Surge. So yeah, just all around actually a good exotic for this type of GM, because there's so many yellow bars and like high health targets to deal with. So you can just pop a super and take them out quickly. And I mean, the super lasts decently long, but what's really nice is if you have Bleak Watchers on the field, if you were in a team and everyone was running Bleak Watchers, especially like a Rhymecoat Raiment, and there was just tons of Bleak Watchers everywhere, you can make your super last a really long time, because you don't have to cast out the... See, I have my super back already. And here we're just going for that crate. So I'm out of special ammo. And now watch. I only get a bit of heavy, but I get full special. So make sure you take advantage of that. But yeah, so when those enemies are frozen, you won't have to throw out your melee, like right here. So there, I just did a ton of damage to him without having to throw my thing out. But it's when you throw the ice crystals that it actually uses a lot of super. So here I lose a lot of super because this stupid thing clips into the map. Which is really annoying. The amount of bugs this season has been fucking atrocious, to be honest with you. So unfortunately, my gun wasn't reloaded. So we're just going to take this guy out quickly. Something was going on. My gun wasn't shooting. I don't know what the heck was going on. Like when I pulled out the sidearm, it didn't shoot right away. So that was a little messed up. But anyways, we get another Bleak Watcher down. And it's great for keeping everything slowed. We also have Brain Freeze on. So like when it freezes something that isn't slowed, that will become frozen. You can see like it makes that big freezing dome around it. So that will freeze more things. And yeah, just it pairs perfectly with Ballidorse here. I had Hail the Storm on, but I didn't have the tonic popped. I wish I had popped the tonic, but this was pretty early on, so I wasn't sure. Like, the first time I got past this opening area is when I beat it, which was this run. And the whole reason I even died in the opening area was bullshit fucking Threshers, man. So I'll show you that Thresher spawn and how to avoid it. But yeah, the same thing with the arms dealer. That's like the only real threat. And I kind of hate how Bungie has done that, just like brings them in randomly. And if you don't know that they spawn, they're pretty much going to kill you. So we get another yellow bar on the field, that Esteemed Scion. So we're just going to pop our super. Unfortunately, our Bleak Watcher wasn't doing a ton for us there. But yeah, really good ad clear, really good single target damage on those high health targets. And that's what you want because, like I said, there's a ton in here. So once you kill that Esteemed Scion, this is when the Thresher comes in. So I died to that guy like 2 or 3 times because I couldn't like clock where he was coming in from and a good spot to stand. And I didn't know his spawn. So once I knew when it spawned, it's when that Scion dies. Then I knew to back the hell up. And I'm just going to speed this part up because it's just taking out a bunch of enemies and stuff. Just some pretty boring gameplay. But I'm rotating. So there, the Thresher's coming back. And then I dip back here. And then we're just going to deal damage from back here. The War Beasts can push you, so just watch out for that, obviously. But yeah, this is why I had a special sidearm, because they're great. In the future, like I said, if you didn't want to run Revision 0, you could run something like Skyburner's Oath, like not even kidding, and then the Tenacious Mastery Chill Clip sidearm, because that is going to allow you to deal with unstops easier, because Chill Clip can freeze them in 2 shots, presumably. I don't have one yet as of the making of this video, but when this video comes out, I'll surely have a Chill Clip one, hopefully with air trigger. So here's why I like Revision 0 so much. We just take that guy out with ease. So that's the other thing. When I was planning for this build, for this GM, and I saw that Famine was on, Revision 0 is a great workaround. I also have Heavy Ammo Finder on the helmet, and I'm getting tons of primary ammo kills with an exotic, so that will get me more ammo. So here's the only way I can deal with unstops. Unfortunately, I just didn't have my super there. But it is what it is. So yeah, we take them out. So we only have Bleak Watchers or our super or our Transcendence Grenade to take them out. So as I was saying, Tenacious Mastery with Chill Clip will be able to just pretty much 2-shot that, freeze it, and that would be really good. And then Skyburners deals bonus damage to Cabal. It's solar, but you could put on Anti-Barrier Pulse, and that will overcharge it. So even if solar is not the surge, it will be overcharged. Where with Revision 0, it doesn't work like that. With kinetic weapons, they don't work like that, unfortunately. Sorry, I meant unstoppable. So, never mind. Skyburners is a... No, Skyburners is a scout. Yeah, why was I thinking it was a pulse rifle? So, yeah, it will have anti-barrier scout. Sorry, I got a little mixed up there. But, yeah, Skyburners you could pair with Tenacious, and that will be overcharged. But Tenacious potentially might not be if stasis isn't the surge. So just look at this super here. Unfortunately, I missed that one, but we do get a freeze on it after. And then I missed the other one. So I didn't even have a good super there, and we absolutely wrecked those 2 yellow bars. And that is the point of Ballidorse, is it deals bonus damage to targets like that to help you take them down quicker, and like champions and stuff. So that's where Ballidorse really shines. I know there's some other stuff that it can do in terms of Frost Armor, but honestly, Frost Armor is a pretty weak verb. And even in this episode where there's like so many Frost Armor perks and stuff, I just still don't think it's that good. So it's not really worth building into. You could run this on stasis, but then you're missing out on Radiant, you're missing out on Devour. So you might be able to get a few more Bleak Watchers, honestly, depending like how many kills you're getting with Devour. If you're not getting a ton of kills with Devour, then you're not proccing it much. But no, honestly, you'll probably get just as many, because there is that one fragment where when you shatter a stasis crystal, it gives you bonus grenade energy, and that does make a big difference. But between Devour and then here you can see I pop Transcendence, so when I come out of Transcendence, that recharges my grenade as well. So you do get lots of grenades, and I'm running healing grenades just because they have the shortest cooldown. So there, again, we just kind of wreck all the ads. Really, really easy. And I don't know what I... Oh, yeah, I threw my my Transcendent grenade there because it was just about to run out because I'd popped my super while I had Transcendence going. So now we're just going to take out this Scion, and I think that's pretty much it for the opening area. So yeah, look at how much freaking heavy I have on the ground. Like, I have a ton. I don't know what the heck's going on there. So I'm going to speed this up. So the reason I'm killing him is just because, just to be safe, so I don't get sniped on my skimmer. And then there was that heavy crate, so I'm able to pick that up and still get all my ammo. So now we go to the next part, and this part is a whole lot of just ad clear. Just a ton of ad clear, but then these big beefy yellow bars come in, and again, that's where Ballidorse really shines. So this was the furthest I'd made it because I kept dying to the Thresher. So I could speed this up a little bit in the future. But basically, you just want to sit back, let your Bleak Watcher tick away on things, throw your abilities as often as possible. So there, I got Radiant going, or sorry, Devour going. So then I'm able to, and Radiant, I guess. So then I'm able to get my grenade back quicker so that I can chuck it to the other side. And yeah, you can see on the left, it just says Cabal defeated. So really, you just have to take out a bunch of Cabal. So like I said, Skyburners would be really good for this. Or Revision 0, because it just hits like an absolute truck in that 2-burst version. Especially when it's matching your super for that 25% bonus. So then more ads spawn in here, which is kind of weird and annoying. I thought they wouldn't spawn until like all 3 sets were dead. Oh, but maybe it's because I reached the threshold on the percentage. That's probably why. Again, this was my first time running it, so I wasn't sure on the spawn. So let's just rewind and watch that. So I'm at 87%. Kill that guy. Oh, no, it wasn't because I hit 100%. I don't know if it's a time-based thing or what, but just watch out that more enemies will spawn there. And then you can see that drop ship in the back coming in, and that's going to be the guy carrying the charge that we have to throw at the thing. And of course, he has meteors, so we're going to throw a melee out. I should have thrown a Bleak Watcher as well, but I didn't. But yeah, you can see just how well our super is doing here. It's not like super amazing or anything, because these guys are very, very tanky, but it did a very good chunk on him. So now he's just in kind of a crappy position. We got all these other Scions. So yeah, this is just a really annoying GM to run, because it's just like enemy spam galore, which I get there. I got a little impatient and started pushing up on him before he was totally dead and he shot meteors. So that would have been a stupid way to die, but whatever. So we pick up the thing. What I should have done before was maybe kill those guys in the back that were frozen, but I didn't. So here, again, we lay down a Bleak Watcher. Probably not the best spot to put it. I should have put it in the center because we only get like 3 ads over here, which is really weird. So this is probably the best spot to stand because the other plates do get way more enemies. We're just going to use a little heavy because why not? Helps us take that guy out quicker because as you can see, they hit really hard. Void threat is on, so you're taking 25% more void damage. And unfortunately here, I am out of... out of a Bleak Watcher. So there is that fragment where kinetic weapon damage gives more transcendence. I would maybe swap that out for something. I didn't even put too much thought into my build. I just kind of went with some aspects and fragments, but that would actually be really good here because then you could just have higher uptime on your transcendence. So my goal here is just to take everything out again to trigger the next thing with the Cabal defeats. But there you could see we absolutely destroyed that unstoppable. So now we're just taking out those guys far away. So I'm just, again, going to speed this up. I don't think I'm clicking off, but for some reason I can't use my controls to speed up sometimes. I have to re-click on the video. So we proc Devour, get some kills, 95%, so the next kill will spawn in the guy. Perfect. We have one of those big assholes again, so you just have to be wary of them. These rocks, I'm like falling down them. Can't get a good sight line. Trying to shatter. And then we get a Bleak Watcher out right before popping super. And then, yeah, we just do a ton of destruction with that super. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that guy was an unstoppable, because I probably would have focused on him a little more. So we're just going to back up. We're close to a Bleak Watcher, so we're chilling. This is another Meteor guy. I'm sure they're randomized Banes, but I just happen to get 2 Meteors in a row. Again, we're just going to take him out quickly. I'm using the Cascade Point version instead of the Envious version. So that kind of screwed me there because my weapon wasn't reloaded, but really that's just on me. So we take out the unstop, and then it's just going to be back to dealing with that high health target. And here you can see how much health they have. Like, they're very tanky. So here we're just backing up because that guy's a big threat. Also, these shields are quite tanky. So I want to deal with him just because he's dangerous, but I didn't know that this guy could like go over here, so that's kind of annoying. And then these meteors are a problem right when I pumped Hunter's Trace, of course. Missed my shots. So just really ugly, really shitty gameplay. But yeah, this guy also moves really annoyingly. So that kind of crap happens sometimes. That's where, again, Bleak Watchers are nice because now he's frozen. I should have just used my GL to take him down. But he moves close to the other guy there, which was actually kind of nice for me. So then back up when you throw these as well, because they do an explosion, and that would be a really crappy way to die. So don't throw close to the thing. So then once that's done, more Cabal are going to spawn in. We're just going to deal with them, just speeding it up because it is rather boring. Like I said, this isn't a super challenging GM. It's just very slow-paced because you do just have to sit back. That's why this loadout is quite good. A GL is a little hard to shoot from range, but like Revision 0 is excellent at range, great on ammo, like hits like a truck. So yeah, really good weapon to use here. There again, whip out my Bleak Watcher and then go in on the unstop, and we're able to get him finishable in one super. And then there's another unstop, which I didn't really realize was going to be the case. And then if you get out of range, you're kind of screwed. So I backed up, which was the right play, but it just sucks because it put me out of range to get the shatter with my super. So now we're just going to take out the enemies. And what, was my GL not loaded again there? I missed that. But yeah, you can see how much heavy we have on the ground. A ton of heavy. And then more enemies spawn in at a terrible time, right when I pop my Transcendence to deal with that unstop. But you do kind of need to deal with the ads first, because they're more threatening. If you have ads up at every plate, it's going to be dangerous. So that's why I kind of just backed up. Now I'm just using my Transcendence to take out enemies, which is still a good use of it. And I'll get a Bleak Watcher when I come out of Transcendence, like I said. There, I thought the guy was about to push up, so I threw it short, thinking he was going to push there. And then we're at 96%, so that's going to trigger a spawn, which I wasn't paying attention to during my run. But it's okay. So again, I just want to throw out a Bleak Watcher and try to get a super. And then also there's a barrier in this last one. That's actually the guy holding the mine, or the bomb or whatever that we have to throw. Now there's some Honored Scions, so you do have to be wary of them because their snipers hit harder than usual. And then this is some ad TPing nonsense. This is kind of bad on my part as well. I wasn't expecting there to be a dog. So what I wanted to do was get him close, and then I was going to throw a melee to proc Radiant. So yeah, I didn't expect those dogs, so that was very freaking annoying. And then this guy just starts hopping all over, TPing on me. So super annoying. Now we got this guy in the back shooting at us. So we're just going to use Hunter's Trace and take him out nice and quickly. So yeah, that was a little annoying just because I didn't know there was dogs with him. And then I didn't know he was the bomb carrier either. And I didn't clear where I have to drop the bomb. So I'm just going to take out these unstops just to be safe. So they're both stunned. We're just going to get them both low. If you go too far forward, that thing will start doing whatever the heck that was. That freeze thing. And then our Bleak Watcher, again, doing tons of work for us. My thing's not loaded. So notice this heavy ammo right beside me. This goes away once you destroy this last array. So there, the bomb despawned. So it just spawns in another guy that's going to be carrying it, but it's not like a high health target the second time around. It's not a champion or those other guys. It's just that little low health dude. So we take it out quickly. Then we're just going to deal with that threat at the thing. Even though if I were to go get the bomb and just throw it on the thing, I think the rest of the enemies would despawn. But still, I was just playing it safe. So watch what happens here. I think that Scion despawns. Yeah. Despawns. So I didn't have to worry about that guy and pop my Transcendence and all that. And then here, I go to pick up that heavy crate that was just there. And now it's gone. So make sure you do it before you hit 3 out of 3. But I do have lots of heavy just on the field. So it's not a big deal. We're full ammo. And then here, I should have popped my Rift first and then that. Because I think of it after. Because I don't know the spawns. Again, this was my first run. So I wasn't sure what was coming. So I popped that Rift just in case like things spawn really on top of you. That Bleak Watcher being thrown out was really good. Because now we can have 2 Bleak Watchers. Because when you begin that Rite of Proving or whatever, it gives you your abilities back. So there you can see we like 1-tap an orange bar. Really good. Unfortunately, just run out of our super before we can kill that one legionary, but melee cleans them up just fine. So I really don't like this. Bungie said in the past there was a activity called the Reckoning when we were really strong way back in the day in like the Forsaken era. And they would spawn enemies behind you. And that's really annoying. And you'll see throughout this run, there's just some really goofy enemy spawns. And yeah, this whole boss fight is not difficult if you play at a distance. It's just a war of attrition. And that's not a fun GM to me. That is one reason, though, that I wanted to use Ballidorse, because it's got a low cooldown on your super. So I figured if I can get lots of supers, then that will speed everything up. And that line of thinking was correct. Like, look how quick my super bar is filling up just by dealing damage with Revision 0. So look at this. Just as I go Hunter's Trace, I'm like, oh, I should proc Radiant and get a weaken with my GL. But then, on the right of my map, some enemies spawn in. So this is what I mean by enemies spawning behind you. It's fucking stupid and bullshit. Maybe not behind, depending on like how you look at it, because maybe I had pushed up too far, but I'm still pretty far back, so I don't like that enemies spawn there. I think that's cheap and annoying. So anyways, kind of ruined my rotation, but I do still have my Hunter's Trace shots because I haven't used them. So I'm just trying to get a good angle on this guy. And now, again, we just have another enemy spawn. So this is what makes this difficult, at least solo, is all these stupid enemy spawns. And then he's just backing up and running away. So what I should be doing here is using my Hunter's Trace. But then he actually moves forward, which I was not expecting. So I throw out a melee. Got to play a little safe. So I missed one of my 4 snipes, I think. So I couldn't proc 4 times the charm. But that's what I was saying about how hard it hits. Like, look at these chunks. This guy is a tanky boss. But look at this chunk. 71,000. Like, that's a pretty good chunk of damage there. And then, like I said, we missed this one. So yeah, that's where Revision 0 comes in really nice. And just like I said, the super easy ad clear. Also being anti-barrier, it can deal with phalanx shields better than pretty much any weapon in the game. So it's really nice for that. But yeah, I just really am not a fan of this ad spawn over here. I think it's kind of goofy, but it's probably to prevent people from standing back here to do damage, but still, it's annoying. So here I'm building up my Transcendence and my Hunter's Trace, or my targeting data. And he's unraveled, so he's taking passive damage. And now we're on to the next part. So it's going to be a looks like a barrier champion and an unstoppable champion. So I'm going to try to bait them close. So this was unfortunate because I got slowed and then more enemies start pushing up. So yeah, all that damage I did to the barrier colossus I kind of lost. But yeah, I'm trying to just back up so that I can just deal with the barrier champ. And then I'll pop my super and take on the unstoppable. So we throw our radiant melee and boom, easy 2-shot. They have an overshield, so that's unfortunate. So now what I should be doing is throwing a Bleak Watcher, but again, I wasn't sure at that time what the champion was. So I just wanted to get a good look at what I was dealing with. Throw out the Bleak Watcher, pop the super. The reason you want the Bleak Watcher to get the first freeze is because you're not going to do extra damage till it's stunned. And the freeze will stun him, obviously. And you can see we only get 2 off at max damage, but that is enough to make them finishable there. So yeah, it's a really good super, actually. And this is from someone who's a notorious Winter's Wrath hater. I can say it does have a place in endgame now, for sure. So we throw another Bleak Watcher out and then immediately pop Transcendence. This is because we will get our full grenade back when Transcendence ends, which is really nice. Volt Shot is nice for quickly dealing with those shields. And then also, if more enemies were around, it's going to help with ad clear. Just doing passive damage to the enemies near it. And everything's really far away. And again, I thought I heard something behind me. So, and I'm not aware of the spawns. So I was just being like pretty careful. But like I said, nothing about this was very difficult. It was just more tedious and boring. Definitely not one of my favorite GMs. In a team, I could see it maybe being kind of fun. Because you could like optimize all your supers and start chaining supers with orbs and stuff and really rip through it. Because there's a lot of ads, but as a solo, you can't play super aggro. So there, I had Cascade Point, but I missed like all my shots, which is really unfortunate. And then more ads come in. And again, it's only like 2 ads. Here's some TPing bullshit. Like, it's 2 ads, but you still have to respect them and back up. And then you have to move forward and deal with the boss. And yeah, it's also a little tough just not knowing what's coming. So here I try to get as many bait and switch shots off as I can. And then I see more ads are coming in from those drop ships. So actually at 50%, he spawns one of those Cabal shields, which I didn't even know about at the time. But I'm happy I had hung on to my super. Because I kind of wanted to use the super for like, for ad clear. Like mass ad clear with like the yellow and orange bars and stuff. So there, the shield goes up. And I screw up here. What I should use is my Hunter's Trace. It one-shots the shield, but I didn't know that at the time, and I wasn't really thinking. I did know it takes critical damage because I used Icebreaker on it before, and Icebreaker is wonderful. But I could have ran in there like immediately and just popped that shield, and that would definitely be the way to go. So once he's close to 50%, move up if you can, if he's not being too aggressive, and just try to pop that shield right away. Because now enemies, there's more TPing ads. Enemies are going to go into there, and then they're very difficult to deal with. I use my super to deal with them, but they would be difficult to deal with because it's a very tight space. So we have a Drain Bane, which is always an issue. So we just have to play back. And yeah, he's sucking my health down. So here's where I screw up. I pop Hunter's Trace here to take out that Bane, which is smart. Take out his backpack. But then I use it on all the other ads when I should have just pulled out my sidearm and kept those Hunter's Trace shots loaded to deal with the shield, as you'll see here in a second. And then here, what's unfortunate is I am using my Indebted Kindness, but I keep passing over special bricks, so I'm wasting a lot of ammo. So there's a couple in here, right, like I said, but I could throw that. But what I could have done is actually use my Hunter's Trace to take out that thing. So here I'm seeing, does my super do like any damage? No, it doesn't. So unfortunately, I wasted a lot of my super. I should have just been dealing damage to the boss. But I thought, oh, maybe it will be good for taking out the that little thingy. whatever, that shield generator thing. But it was not, so now we're just going to deal with even more ads. So yeah, the quicker you can get this down, the better, because these ads are just annoying and they just kind of keep spawning in. So here's a good spot to stand. A rift comes in really clutch here because he does throw that bomb. And then we're just going to start shooting. Like I said, it does hit crits, and it looks like 4th time's even proccing there. So it takes it out quite quickly, but with one Hunter's Trace shot, it will delete it. So like I said, that's kind of where I messed up. Had I known that 50% thing was coming, I could have been up there and ready, one pop it with a Hunter's Trace shot, and then pop my super to deal damage to the boss and the ads that come in. So I wasted a lot of time there, but again, that's just being inexperienced, and that's why I like doing these commentary videos, to kind of tell you what I could optimize or how to be optimal, because a lot of times I do the optimal thing, but like I said, I'm unfamiliar with this GM, so I just didn't really know about the 50% shield generator or anything like that. So now we've got more ads spawning in. So we've got 2 unstops, and I have no... So there, I was just checking my class item to see that I have Bomber on. I do. So I pop my Rift. That gives me the chunk that I need. I'm going to put Unravel on each of them. And then, yeah, we had them stacked up really nicely. So, yeah, that was a very clean play right there. That was nice that they both froze. And that was probably due to brain freeze, because it was... slowing just the one with the Bleak Watcher, but then when he got frozen, he made that slowing field, which slowed the other unstop, and then that froze them both. So right there, great example of how a artifact mod can buff a build and actually be really beneficial for you. So that froze them both at once, allowing me to not have to waste, because I do have kinetic impacts for like backup unstop, but you do lose out on lots of damage until you get that champion stunned. Where there I was able to just get the full Cascade point bait and switch, or I don't think I had Cascade, but I had bait and switch going. There, again, just a good example of how good the super is for ad clear. We take out all those threatening ads, and then we're going to come over here, because this just seems like a pretty good spot to stand to get line of sight on the boss. Pop our Rift just to be safe, pop our Transcendence for more damage. And then again, what I want to do is shoot my Hunter's Trace shots for free damage, essentially. So we proc Radiant, miss the first shot, hit that one. So I should have procced Weaken from my GL as well. It would have only taken one shot, and then Concussive Reload would have weakened them. Then I would have been doing 15% more damage with all those Hunter's Trace shots. So again, just a little optimization that I could have easily done that I just wasn't really thinking about. So I didn't do there. Here, I'm just trying to find a good spot for the Bleak Watcher. So this is what I was saying. These Phalanx shields are normally very annoying to deal with. Revision 0 makes them easy as hell. I love this gun against Phalanxes. It's probably like the best anti-Phalanx weapon in the game. Lament has anti-barrier and for some reason can't go through the shields. But Revision 0 has anti-barrier and it's a beast for them because you can actually hit the crit through the shield. That's what makes it so good, where normally you have to hit their stupid little crit to kind of stun them and then you can shoot them in the head. So yeah, here there's a bunch of ads. I don't overly know what's coming here, but there is another shield generator at like 25% of his health, or maybe even less, but there it is anyway. So there I've got targeting data. I should have just ran in, but again, I wasn't sure what was coming and I heard some ads spawn in, but I was like close enough. I could have ran in there, shot it once, that would have broken the shield, but again, I didn't know these things at the time. But if I were to run it back with this build, I easily could shave 5 minutes off just knowing what I know now. So yeah, I hope this commentary helps with stuff like that, because now you know these spawn triggers, and so do I. But yeah, so I could have used my Hunter's Trace right away. Now that yellow bar enemy is in there, and that's a problem because they hurt like a bitch. So what I'm gonna have to do is pop my super to take out those threatening enemies that are in the shield. So we do that. This time, I think I'm going to go in on the boss. Yeah, because I know that my thing does nothing. Then I'm going to get to this side because there's a bit of cover. and boom, one shot. See, I even scoped in to shoot it again, not expecting it to be taken out in just one shot. But again, that's because I didn't know. Now, here's what sucks is if I knew this, I could have been locked and loaded, ready to go, done full bait and switch rotation on him and cooked him right there. And then once those enemies push in on me, pop super, focus on the boss, and it's over because he'd have the 15% debuff and I'd be going in with Ballidorse. But I didn't know any of this. So now all these ads push up and I'm like, okay, I have to retreat. And then just more and more ads keep coming. Like, look, I have full heavy. Like I said, I could have used that Hunter's Trace shot, use my second one on the boss, shoot the sidearm, throw a Radiant melee, and just go in with bait and switch. He'd pretty much be dead from that. And if he wasn't dead, I just use my super to clean him up. And now look at how many ads come. So if you're in a fire team or solo, when you're at that part, have all your firepower ready to go. Have Transcendence, have your heavy stuff ready. Get your bait and switch proc ready to go. Do what you can, because this part is obnoxious as fuck. I had no idea it was like this. But yeah, you want to melt as soon as you break that final shield generator, which in a team will be really easy in all honesty. Because you can see there was no ads until you break that thing. So you do have time to do that. And like I said, if you have a super, then you're safe and good to go. So here I thought, oh, well, maybe my super is strong enough to just take him out anyways. But I kind of get moving around all funny, and I don't totally focus on the boss. So yeah, now look at his health. So now we're still dealing with all these enemies, and we don't have a super. And here's where I get impatient, because I'm just fucking annoyed. Like, that's just an obnoxious amount of ads. I see what they're trying to do, like make the final stand difficult. But like I said, good teams are just going to nuke them as soon as you break that thing. Hell, and like I said, when you know that shield generator's coming, you can be standing there already ready to break it so that the boss isn't even really a threat. You can be in position. I just wasn't because I didn't know it was coming. So yeah, we have one of these big Colossus. The saving grace is I do have quick super cooldown as long as I'm killing enemies. So here, yeah, I've got lots of heavy, so I'm going to be using that. We throw out our Bleak Watcher, going to pop Transcendence. I'm trying to take out all these phalanxes. Oh yeah, I'm trying to take out all these phalanxes to get lots of super energy. So here is a pretty dumb play because the boss is still a threat and I'm just getting impatient. So yeah, if I had lost it there, that would have sucked. And now even more enemies are coming in. So yeah, you can't get greedy as much as you may want to because this shit is annoying. And then yeah, anyways, I'm just spamming my GL, finally hit enough shots. Eventually I would have got my super to go in again. But yeah, what I was saying is how you do want to deal with that last part. I was just unknowledgeable, and that's what made me take probably 5 minutes longer than I needed to. But anyways, that was the solo flawless of the GM Behemoth. I really like the style I have on this guy too. I've always thought that helmet from Lightfall is pretty cool, and I've never had it in any build, and I don't think I've had those robes either. So yeah, I just think it's a pretty cool looking setup. But yeah, if you liked the video and found it informative, then a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and take care.